Hello, Liverpool fans. Welcome to Liverpool Breaking. Let's dive into the latest news today. Liverpool facing managerial crisis as Arne Slot on the sack, and Jurgen Klopp talks for Anfield return. Liverpool Football Club finds itself in a period of profound uncertainty and mounting tension after a sequence of 4 consecutive defeats that has left the team, supporters, and board in a state of unrest. Manager Arne Slot is reportedly on the verge of being dismissed following losses against Crystal Palace, Galatasaray, Chelsea, and Manchester United, signaling one of the most challenging stretches in the club's recent history. At the same time, the legendary Jurgen Klopp has confirmed that discussions about his potential return to Anfield have progressed significantly, igniting hope among fans and reshaping the narrative surrounding the club's future. The past month has been particularly harsh for Liverpool. Once celebrated for its dynamic style, cohesion, and unyielding identity, the club has struggled to maintain its standards under Slot. The defeats, occurring in both domestic and European competitions, have not only undermined Liverpool's position in the league, but also raised serious concerns regarding tactics, team cohesion, and overall morale. What was intended to be a promising transition into a new era has instead become a critical crossroads for the club. A troubled period. Liverpool's downturn began subtly but intensified rapidly, culminating in a string of results that have shaken confidence throughout the organization. The losses have exposed tactical vulnerabilities, lapses in concentration, and a sense of confusion on the field. Observers and analysts alike have pointed to a breakdown in the team's rhythm and strategic coherence, issues that were not present during previous eras. Each match in this sequence has highlighted different dimensions of the challenges facing Slot. Against Crystal Palace, the team struggled to assert control and maintain the intensity expected at this level. The clash with Galatasaray in Europe further emphasized the fragility, as lapses in coordination and a lack of resilience allowed the opposition to capitalize consistently. Chelsea presented another stern test, where the team failed to generate momentum or cohesiveness. Finally, a difficult encounter with Manchester United underscored the gravity of the situation, leaving questions over leadership, preparedness, and strategic direction. The cumulative effect of these defeats has placed immense pressure on Slot from multiple directions. Supporters are vocal, media scrutiny is intense, and internal stakeholders are reportedly concerned about the trajectory of the season. The combination of consecutive setbacks has created an environment in which the manager's position appears increasingly untenable. Boardroom pressure. Inside the club's executive corridors, tension is palpable. Reports indicate that the Liverpool board has convened multiple meetings to evaluate the ongoing crisis, weighing the implications of both retaining and dismissing Slot. On one hand, the manager was appointed with a long-term vision, representing a philosophy of measured, structured football. On the other hand, the immediate results have failed to meet expectations, generating a sense of urgency that is difficult to ignore. Sources close to the organization suggest that there is a growing faction among decision-makers advocating for a managerial change. They argue that the defeats indicate a disconnect between Slot's methods and the demands of Liverpool's competitive landscape, and that swift intervention may be necessary to prevent further erosion of confidence and club identity. Conversely, there remain voices calling for patience, emphasizing the need for adjustment periods in transitional phases. However, the prevailing sentiment is that the margin for error has all but vanished. Klopp in the spotlight. Amidst this turmoil, the prospect of Jurgen Klopp's return has captured the imagination of the football world. Klopp, who left the club after a decade of transformative success, has maintained strong ties to Liverpool's ethos and identity. His era is fondly remembered for both domestic triumphs and European glory, as well as for fostering a culture of resilience, unity, and determination. In a recent statement, Klopp acknowledged his enduring connection to the club and hinted at ongoing discussions regarding a potential comeback. He emphasized his concern over Liverpool's current difficulties while expressing a willingness to re-engage in a leadership role if circumstances allowed. The comments, interpreted widely by media and fans, suggest that negotiations have moved beyond preliminary stages and may culminate in a managerial return designed to stabilize the club and restore confidence. Greater than, Liverpool has always been part of my life. Seeing the club face challenges is painful. I won't reveal everything, but conversations are positive. The club means too much to me to stand aside in times like this. The implication of Klopp's statement is clear. Liverpool may be preparing for a seismic managerial transition, one that could see the return of the figure most synonymous with the club's modern identity. Management and strategic implications. Slott's tenure has been characterized by ambitious goals and tactical experimentation, yet the recent results have cast doubt on the effectiveness of his approach. Structured build-up play, high possession strategies, and emphasis on control have not yielded the desired outcomes. Critics argue that the current system has left the team vulnerable to high-pressure scenarios and quick transitions, exposing limitations that were less visible in previous matches. The board now faces difficult decisions. Retaining Slot risks continued instability and the potential loss of competitive ground, while replacing him mid-season entails financial, contractual, and reputational considerations. Reports suggest that FSG is aware of these complexities, but remains increasingly receptive to the notion that Klopp's return could provide the immediate clarity, inspiration, and tactical coherence the club currently lacks. Fan response. Liverpool supporters have reacted strongly to the unfolding saga. Social media platforms are awash with calls for change, with hashtags advocating Slott's dismissal and Klopp's reinstatement trending widely. The fan base, known for its passionate engagement and historical loyalty, has expressed a desire for decisive action that prioritizes both club identity and competitive performance. Outside the stadium, visual demonstrations of support for Klopp have appeared, highlighting a collective yearning for leadership capable of reversing the current slide. Analysts suggest that the emotional and psychological dimension of a Klopp return could be as impactful as the tactical adjustments he might implement, given the cultural resonance of his previous tenure. The future of Liverpool. The upcoming weeks are likely to define Liverpool's season. With Slot reportedly under intense scrutiny and the board exploring all options, the trajectory of the club may hinge on timely intervention. The discussions with Klopp, if finalized, are expected to be implemented quickly to provide the club with both strategic direction and emotional renewal. While the structural challenges are substantial, Liverpool still retains the infrastructure, global reach, and institutional knowledge necessary to recover swiftly. The combination of experienced leadership, historical resilience, and fan commitment suggests that, with the right managerial appointment, the club can regain its competitive stature. The sequence of 4 consecutive defeats against Crystal Palace, Galatasaray, Chelsea, and Manchester United will be remembered as a turning point, one that prompted urgent reassessment of leadership and club strategy. It is a moment of reckoning, highlighting the delicate balance between ambition, transition, and the imperatives of maintaining identity at the highest levels of football. Conclusion. A club at a crossroads. Liverpool currently stands at a crossroads, with its managerial future hanging in the balance and its identity tested under intense scrutiny. The potential dismissal of Arne Slot represents not only a response to immediate results, but also a deeper reflection on the alignment between philosophy, execution, and club ethos. Meanwhile, Jurgen Klopp's possible return embodies both hope and a return to the cultural DNA that defined Liverpool's greatest era in recent memory. As the club navigates this critical period, supporters, media, and football observers alike are united in their attention. Decisions taken now will have lasting implications, potentially reshaping Liverpool's competitive and emotional landscape for years to come. The saga underscores a fundamental truth. At Liverpool, football is never just about matches. It is about identity, resilience, and the unwavering spirit that binds club, manager, and supporters together. As negotiations unfold and the board prepares to act, one certainty remains. The next chapter at Anfield promises to be decisive, dramatic, and deeply consequential.